Are we about to witness the most impossible trade in NBA history become reality? What if I told you that the three-time MVP Nikola Jokic could potentially be suiting up in purple and gold, forming what would undoubtedly be the most dominant duo the league has ever seen alongside Luka Doncic? Before you call this pure fantasy, let me break down why the seemingly impossible scenario might have more legs than you think. The Lakers have been riding high ever since Nico Harrison and the Dallas Mavericks gifted them Luka Doncic in what many are already calling steal of the century. But here's the thing about success. It breeds ambition, and the Lakers' ambition knows no bounds. They're not content with just landing one generational superstar. This is the Lakers we're talking about, the most prestigious franchise in NBA history. And with their recent ownership changes, they've shown they're more than willing to open those checkbooks when championship opportunities present themselves. The question that's been burning through Lakers Nation isn't whether they'll pursue another superstar. It's who that superstar will be. Dan Woik from The Athletic recently addressed this exact question when asked about the possibility of targeting either Giannis Antetokounmpo or Nikola Jokic, and his response was both realistic and revealing about just how difficult these mega deals truly are. Woik didn't sugarcoat the challenges, stating that he doesn't see either player as a realistic trade target under normal circumstances. The market dynamics would need to be completely suppressed, with a player essentially forcing their way to Los Angeles by threatening to only sign with the Lakers in free agency. Even then, he noted, the Lakers' trade package would likely fall short of what other teams could offer. But here's where the story gets interesting. While Woik's assessment is grounded in reality, the NBA has taught us time and again that seemingly impossible trades can become reality when the right circumstances align. And when we look at both Giannis and Jokic's situations, there are some fascinating undercurrents that could shift the entire landscape. Let's start with Giannis Antetokounmpo, who many analysts consider the more likely candidate for a potential trade. The Milwaukee Bucks are in serious trouble, and calling them a sinking ship might actually be generous at this point. Their roster construction is questionable at best, with Miles Turner as their second-best player, and their perimeter options consisting of Gary Trent Jr. and Kevin Porter Jr. Those aren't exactly the supporting cast pieces that inspire confidence in a championship run. Giannis has made it crystal clear throughout his career that winning is his top priority. He's not interested in empty statistics or moral victories. He wants championships, and the Bucks' current trajectory doesn't appear to be heading in that direction. If Milwaukee starts the season slowly, which seems increasingly likely given their roster limitations, don't be surprised if trade rumors surrounding Giannis intensify dramatically as we approach the trade deadline. The Bucks would likely be looking for a massive haul of draft picks to kickstart a complete rebuild, and that's exactly the kind of scenario where the Lakers' assets and future flexibility could become extremely valuable. Remember, this is a franchise that's proven they can make the impossible happen when championship opportunities arise. But here's where the Jokic angle becomes absolutely fascinating, and it's a storyline that Lakers fans should be paying very close attention to. While the Denver Nuggets have done admirable work this offseason retooling their roster around their three-time MVP, there's one factor that could change everything. Jokic's personal relationship with Luka Doncic. These two aren't just casual acquaintances or professional colleagues. They're genuinely close friends who have maintained their bond despite playing for different franchises. The basketball world has long speculated about the possibility of seeing these two generational talents team up, and now that Luka is in Los Angeles, that speculation has reached fever pitch levels. What makes the Jokic situation even more intriguing is his recent contract decision. He turned down an extension this offseason, which isn't necessarily cause for alarm since he still has 2 years plus a player option remaining on his current deal. But that decision does leave the door open for future possibilities, especially if the Nuggets fail to consistently surround him with championship-caliber talent. The Nuggets did make some solid moves this offseason, moving the bloated contracts of Michael Porter Jr. and Dario Saric to bring back valuable pieces like Cam Johnson and Jonas Valanciunas, while also adding Tim Hardaway Jr. and Bruce Brown to their rotation. These moves show they're committed to maximizing Jokic's prime years, but the question remains whether these adjustments are enough to keep pace with the elite teams in the Western Conference. Here's what Lakers fans need to understand about Jokic's mindset. He's not your typical NBA superstar when it comes to career priorities. This is a player who has openly talked about the possibility of early retirement to return to his horse farm in Serbia. He's not driven by legacy considerations or the need to chase individual accolades. What motivates Jokic is the pure joy of playing basketball at the highest level with players he respects and enjoys competing alongside. The friendship factor with Luka cannot be understated here. These are two players who understand each other's games on an almost telepathic level, both possessing that rare combination of exceptional basketball IQ and unselfish playmaking ability. The thought of seeing them orchestrate an offense together is the stuff of basketball dreams, and it's exactly the kind of scenario that can motivate Jokic to consider a change of scenery if circumstances align properly. From a basketball perspective, the fit would be absolutely seamless. Jokic's ability to play both center and power forward would give the Lakers incredible lineup flexibility, while his elite passing would create opportunities for not just Luka, but every player on the roster. Imagine the pick-and-roll possibilities, the fast break opportunities, and the clutch time scenarios with both players on the court simultaneously. The financial aspect of pursuing Jokic is certainly complex, but it's not insurmountable for a Lakers organization that has shown they're willing to pay luxury tax penalties when championship opportunities present themselves. With their new ownership structure and the massive revenue generation that comes with having superstars like Luka on the roster, the Lakers are in a better financial position than most franchises to absorb the costs associated with a maximum salary player. What makes this entire scenario even more compelling is the timeline involved. Jokic is 29 years old and entering his prime championship window, while Luka is just 25 and hitting his stride as a superstar. If the Lakers could somehow orchestrate this trade, they'd be pairing two players whose career arcs align perfectly for sustained championship contention. The challenge, as Voigt correctly identified, lies in assembling a trade package that would entice Denver to part with their franchise cornerstone. The Lakers would likely need to include multiple first-round picks, young talent, and potentially take on some additional salary to make the numbers work. But for a player of Jokic's caliber and the championship upside he'd provide alongside Luka, that's exactly the kind of investment championship organizations make. So here's the ultimate question for Lakers fans. If the opportunity arose to pair Luka Doncic with his close friend and three-time MVP Nikola Jokic, wouldn't it be worth whatever assets it takes to make it happen? Because while this trade might seem impossible today, the NBA has taught us that impossible trades have a funny way of becoming reality when championship windows align. What do you think about the possibility of seeing Jokic in a Lakers uniform? Is this the kind of blockbuster move that could define the next decade of Lakers basketball, or should they focus on building around Luka with complementary pieces? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like button if this analysis has you dreaming about the possibilities of a Luka-Jokic partnership in Los Angeles.